what religion teaches. It often teaches right from wrong. A lot of your moral training, even though you get it at home, is reinforced or superseded by religion. Okay? It tells you this is right and this is wrong. Okay? Now, note also that once upon a time that it reinforces your values and beliefs. Have you noticed that? Notice what religions do for you. That a lot of the arguments that go on across this planet go on because of the different religious doctrines. I'll say this again. Very many of the arguments that go on across this country do so because of the differences in religious doctrine and ideology. And religion, remember that in the previous chapter we learned that no matter what you do, in order to do something, in order for anything to be viable, it has to have a supporting ideology. Okay? For capitalism to flourish, we need an ideology that everybody buys into. Okay? So our ideology could be survival of the fittest. Our ideology could be that the Lord helps he who helps himself. Okay? We can have all kinds of things that will support us. And notice that the ideologies are the same thing that support things like the caste system. The ideologies support the class system. Okay? Because we have an ideology that will support it. And people buy into it. And very often religion is used to do that. Okay? Now in addition, religion will do things like teach you how how can I say it? It will teach you right and wrong. And notice also that once upon a time, religion took the foremost thought pattern. That throughout in history, you would discover that religion meant more. And their ideology meant more to what you were doing than everything else, except those people in power. And the people in power and the religious institutions basically work hand in glove. Okay? When you look at slavery, slavery was supported because the religious doctrine supported it. Okay? If the religious doctrine did not support slavery, we would not have had slavery. I just say that, I don't really know, but you understand what I'm saying. Okay? Now, any comments, any questions about what I'm saying? Now note also that all the religious doctrines support, okay, beliefs and behaviors. If your religious doctrines say that women are not equal, it supports the doctrine. Notice that? That some of what we have operated is that part of the inequality that we have is because the religious doctrine supported. And when we saw the picture of things like the lady in France who had her face covered, and they want to pass laws saying you cannot cover your face because of all these reasons, and one of them is that it's demeaning to women, note that their religious doctrine support that. Note that even to this day, when Jewish men wake up in the morning and they start some of their prayers, they end it with thank you, Lord, for not making me a female. Oh. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? So those are the kinds of things that happen. So that even though we talk about these things, and you will see that your religious doctrine knows. That your religious doctrine tells the female that she is not equal to the male. Am I right or wrong? Right. Who's the one for? Who goes around supporting that? Your churches do. Many of your churches, even in this country, do not want women in certain positions. Right? Mm-hmm. Women can't be the pastor. Why? Right? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So as long as your doctrines do that, you see there's a whole host of it. We know that men are supposed to be the head of the families. And no matter what we talk, we still go to church every day while we talk equality. There's a difference between the ideal and reality. It's like night and day. Doesn't this hurt? Okay. But you understand what I'm saying? This is what religion does. And now to say that I can't even begin to talk about how many wars were based on religion. While we go about trying, and notice that part of what we did with the Native American was based on the fact that they were heathens. And so we were actually doing them a favor. Part of our sitting around, taking them out of their homelands and putting them on reservations, we were doing them a favor. And our religious doctrine supports that. That was, now notice what we do, okay? What we do is very important to get people to buy into it. See, and what happens is that they taught us the term manifest destiny, say, this God intended for us to do these things. That's what manifest destiny means, okay? It's very clear that this is what we're supposed to do. It has been estimated that when the Europeans came to this country, that there was something like 200 million Native Americans, give or take 50 million. 100 million. That's how much we decimated. Today, we can find 2 million, we're lucky. And when I say that this was genocide, I've had argued this was not genocide. But that's what they teach us. They teach us what we are able to understand at our age. When we got finished, we justified dropping the atomic bomb. We justified it. Now, there's not one person in this room that will sit down and say, when we dropped the atomic bomb, we should not have done it. Nobody. And you would never, you can't imagine the harm that was done with that bomb. You can't even imagine. Somebody, you can look at, you see what the hurricane that has done to this area. And when we dropped that bomb, you could see the results of what happened. It was just phenomenal. Yes.
With dropping the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, didn't they save a lot of lives because innovation would have killed 1 million people or something?
See, that's what I'm saying. See, they've taught us to justify it. You understand? What we have learned is that the reason we dropped the atomic bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, because we dropped 2 of them, okay, is that the reason we did that is because it saved American lives. The reason we decimated the Indian, the Native American, is because it was our manifest destiny. Okay? These are the things that you have to start looking at. Now, I'm not saying anything is right or wrong. All I'm saying is that you are at the stage where you have to stop just be reading the okie doke. Okay? You have to stop. You have to stop just saying, yes, this sounds good. Okay? Because often it sounds good. But you will notice that no matter what we do, okay, we always put a spin on it. The spin is that we saved American lives. The spin is it was our manifest destiny to do that. You must see through the spin. Got me? You've got to see through the spin. Yes.
I thought it was because they dropped the bomb.
3 or 4 years. Okay? And we know that they attacked Pearl Harbor. But we also know that when you look at it, we knew that they were almost attacking Pearl Harbor. We had enough evidence to say something's not right, okay? And we had our forces in the area because we sort of sensed this by your intelligence, okay? Now, part of Pearl Harbor was we made monumental mistakes. They saw the flights coming over. When you start looking at some of the evidence, they knew the flight was coming. They decided it wasn't this, it was something else, and all this other kind of stuff. So that's number one. And we say it was a sneak attack, okay? But by the same token, please bear in mind that warfare is something that men study. They study warfare like we study sociology. We study warfare like you study sociology. Okay? We can go back in our textbooks and did anybody see the picture of this part? Did you ever see that? You have it? That's true. That's true. How do we know it's true? Because we have records that show this is what happened. Okay? And it gets into the folklore that they will tell you to be Spartan about something. You suck it in. Did you ever hear the story about the Spartan child who took a little wolf to school with him? And he had a little wolf cub in his shirt. And rather than scream out to tell her, the wolf started eating at his stomach, but he would not tell the teacher that I had this little wolf cub, so he died. That's being Spartan. Okay? And they taught us this, and they teach you. Now, part of that lesson is that you can overcome all obstacles. Notice how that fits in to all of our, and notice that that fits into our training. That fits into why you suffer to get ahead. That fits. That fits into why you try to overcome all odds. All that Spartan stuff fits in. You must start making connections. You must start thinking, people. And all of this is sociology. Okay? Now, but you see, and it gets very interesting after a point. You see, if you start doing it, okay? Now, one of the things that happen, and I keep telling you people, because I look at your exams, and it's appalling to see that you won't read. I can tell who's reading and who's not. If you get an exam of 100 questions, you should almost be able to get 40 of them if you never open a textbook. Your common sense should give you 40 right. But when somebody gives me an exam of like 10 questions right, that is out of 100, that is ridiculous.